SpaceX shares down for a sixth straight day, now trading 45% off the record high hit in the days after its IPO. The stock got a bit of a pop midday after the Wall Street Journal reported on its talks to provide computing power to the Pentagon, but closed the day near its highs. The company, which allotted 30% of its shares in its debut to retail traders, has now wiped out about $1 trillion in market cap from the peak.
So last Friday, CNBC reported that SpaceX has lost $1 trillion of market value since the company went public. But as you heard, SpaceX might be getting some help from the US government. I just want to hear your thoughts on just that much. $1 trillion lost.
Yeah, I don't think people who pay attention to this stuff should be very surprised. I think the entire function of the IPO was for Elon to get his investors paid, people that have gotten on early on with him. And he did that via this IPO. So like a bunch of people got super rich who have, bet on Elon in the past. And that's how you keep, his superpower has always been courting investors and getting people to believe that he's gonna come up with the next thing. And so, yeah, even though SpaceX is like a real company, in a lot of ways, it's just a stock company at this point. Like the market cap has almost nothing to do with the money or profits being generated by XAI, SpaceX, et cetera, et cetera. It's almost just like investors' belief that Elon could make a stock company. And so, yeah, I don't think you guys should be surprised by this sudden drop in value of this company.
Yeah, you're absolutely right that Elon Musk has made an entire career off of gaming the stock market. Now he's doing it with space, and they're losing so much money that now our government, I guess, is gonna have to help out the richest man in the world, right? He also is no longer a trillionaire, so I guess he needs that money. He's broke, he doesn't have the money, he needs it. So here is what you need to know. Let's look at this graphic here. So when SpaceX went public last month, it was valued at $130 per share. And as you can see, the stock's value went through the roof. But for over a week now, the stock has been slowing down quite a bit. And as of producing this story, SpaceX is worth $123 per share. So we should note that the initial valuation of SpaceX was optimistic at best. Okay, SpaceX, by the way, is made up of SpaceX, Starlink, and also XAI. And last year, the three companies that make up SpaceX reported a combined loss of about $5 billion on combined revenue of $18.5 billion. But nevertheless, SpaceX was admitted into indexes like the NASDAQ and by proxy Americans' retirement accounts much earlier than would have otherwise happened, okay? So the reporting says that SpaceX stock had posted losses in 9 of the last 10 trading days, and as of Friday's close had plummeted nearly 23% since the company was added to the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ fast-tracked the company's inclusion in the index, allowing SpaceX to be added after just 15 trading days. Previously, companies had to wait months, so they just got half a month, okay? So the stock price of SpaceX could get a boost if they signed another deal with the US government. So now SpaceX is in talks with the Defense Department about providing the agency with access to data center capacity worth billions of dollars for running artificial intelligence models. The two sides are discussing an arrangement in which SpaceX would provide computing capacity to the department at a cost of up to several billion dollars, people familiar with the matter said. All right, so SpaceX already does work for the Pentagon, so that's nothing new. And the work that they do includes, but is not limited to, launching satellites and building missile defense networks. However, some national security officials have raised concerns that the Pentagon is too reliant on Elon Musk's services, and Musk's huge financial contributions to President Donald Trump's 2024 campaign have fueled conflict of interest claims. Whoa, not conflicts of interest, not just the fact that he donated so much money to Trump's presidential campaign, but he was actually a part of the Trump administration at one point, and he went in there, he wreaked all kinds of havoc, and then he got out unscathed. And I mean, seemingly unscathed. Like, he lost a lot of popularity points. Like, people seem to like him a lot less than they did before, but he still managed to make himself a trillionaire for a hot minute. He's no longer a trillionaire, allegedly. I don't know, but he's a lot less liked than he was before. And for a man like Elon Musk, that popularity does seem to be worth a lot. Okay, if people don't like him, they're not investing in his products, they're not investing in his companies, things like that. But at this point, it seems like he doesn't need us anymore. He doesn't need the American people to invest in him. He's not coming to us. He doesn't need our support.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about Elon. He definitely did make a profitable car company. He has figured out how to put those satellites into outer space. Twitter is a complete failure and was a waste of money, but at the same time, you could say his ownership of Twitter is what got him close to the current administration. And that thing has paid off for him and his investors tenfold, right? And so, yeah, I guess the space thing is the new hustle. And if you're an investor and you're just like, look, man, like, he did it with Tesla. People said he couldn't do it. He's figured out this rocket stuff. People said he couldn't do it. Shoot, if he says he's gonna, make space travel a thing, why not roll the dice with him again? And plus, now you add the fact that he's always gotten these government, subsidies or breaks or whatever, but now he's just getting straight up government contracts. Yeah, I don't know how you bet against the guy at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like, he didn't create Tesla. He didn't create the rockets. He didn't figure out space. Like, all these engineers are the ones who figured all that stuff out, and he takes credit for it. And that was working for him for a really long time, because he was able to market based off of his own goodwill with the public, and he was able to get people to watch him and pay attention to him. He was the face of these companies. And unfortunately, when you are the face of a company so hard, if people stop liking your face, if they stop wanting to see you, then that is bad for you, okay? And that's bad for business. Unfortunately, for typically that's how it works, right? With Elon Musk, what we're seeing is he is so rich and he is so embedded, not just in our government, but in governments around the world, that he has all kinds of resources available to him that nobody else, arguably, on the planet has available to them, okay? And again, this is a guy who has no demonstrable skills himself as far as building things. He just knows how to buy companies and market them effectively and kind of juice the numbers, work with the stock market, work with the government. He makes a lot of promises that he can't keep. The ideas that he has for the future of the world, it sounds like it came out of a sci-fi movie. It sounds like something a child could come up with. And he just says things like, you know what? We're gonna put a water slide on Mars, even though there's no water on Mars, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure out how to do it. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. But it's not him figuring that out. It doesn't matter. He can say that, and then he gets all kinds of investor money. And I think the bigger story here is about the stock market and how farcical it is, how stupid it is, right? Anyone can say something. Anyone with influence can say something, and the numbers go up or the numbers go down. Then they say something else. Somebody like Donald Trump, for example, then they say something else after they've already made their money. So they can really just juice it in their own, to their own advantage. They are making money off of this, and the rest of us are watching all of our retirement accounts and all of our index funds just go crazy, and we have no stability in our own lives, right? Even the people who are still actively making money in this economy don't really know where to put their money anymore, because something like the American stock market, which used to be so reliable that it was like a benchmark for so many other things, is no longer reliable. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. And I am very curious to see what trick Elon has up his sleeve, because at some point, the cards have to run out, right? It has to get old. People are gonna have to start to get hip to the fact that he doesn't deliver on a lot of things that he says he's going to deliver on, or that he can't deliver on a lot of the things that he says he will. So anyway, any final thoughts before we move on to our next story?
Yeah, what I would say is don't bet against this guy getting people to give him money. Investors, they just love him. And that's again, that's been his superpower from the start. He's always been able to mesmerize the investor class. And I haven't seen any proof that he's no longer got a hold on those folks. So that's that.
Yeah, we will see. I don't get it, but we will see. I mean, he is very powerful. He's very like I'm not naive, but it's also like he's just like a douchey dude, and I wish people would just recognize that. So
every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.